My beloved child, come closer, for I must speak to you with the tenderness of a father and the urgency of a prophet. Something is stirring in the heavens right now, something so strong, so loud, so intense, that even the angels are standing in attention. There is an emergency from heaven, and it carries your name. Yes, her name. I can almost feel the trembling in the air, the rushing of wings, the holy silence before a great announcement. For Archangel Michael, the mighty warrior of the Most High, has stepped forward with a message that is not meant for nations, not meant for multitudes, not meant for crowds. It is meant for you. My child, listen to me with your heart, not just your ears. For heaven is not whispering today, heaven is shouting. Archangel Michael says that your life is standing at the edge of a divine turning point right now. You feel it. That strange heaviness, that unusual pull, those sleepless nights, those sudden moments where your spirit feels restless and alert. These are not random. These are not accidents. These are not emotions. These are signals. Signals that something powerful is breaking in the spirit realm. Archangel Michael has sounded an alarm, a heavenly alert that your story is about to shift. But before that shift happens, heaven wants you awake, aware, and prepared. For when a life stands at the edge of divine change, both heaven and the forces of darkness rush to battle. That is why everything has felt intense lately. That is why your emotions have been moving like waves. That is why doors opened and closed suddenly. That is why people came into your life and left your life unexpectedly. Every movement around you had been part of the unfolding of this emergency message. My child, the heavens are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not wandering without direction. No, you are standing on a line drawn by heaven itself. A line that separates your before and your after. A line that marks the end of one season and the birth of another. The angels have been watching your steps. The Father has counted your tears. Your prayers have been collected in bowls of light. And now the moment has come. Michael says, prepare yourself, for you stand at the edge of your turning point. And oh, my beloved child, what a holy edge it is. It is the place where heaven leans closer, where destiny becomes clearer, where the future begins to glow with divine fire. It is the place where fear fights faith, where doubt fights purpose, where trials fight breakthroughs. But heaven does not send an emergency for nothing. Heaven sends an emergency when a destiny is too important to be left vulnerable, and your destiny is precious, mighty, and marked. So listen, remain still, open your spirit. For as this message continues, you will understand why heaven rushed toward you today. My beloved child, let your heart stay open as we continue, for what I am about to share carries the weight of eternity. There are moments in a person's life when heaven leans in very closely, almost as if the sky itself bends low to touch the crown of your head. This is one of those moments for you. The call of the heavenly realm has been echoing around your life for a long time, but only now has it grown loud enough to shake the walls of your spirit. Archangel Michael has not stepped forward without reason. When this mighty guardian moves, he moves with divine purpose. For generations, he hath been the defender of destinies, the protector of chosen ones, the warrior who fights in realms unseen to preserve the plans God has written over his children. And now Michael has turned his gaze toward you. Imagine that, my child. The same archangel who stood at the gates of Eden, the same one who battled for Daniel, the same one who warred in the heavens against the dragon, is now watching over your story. Heaven never sends a message without meaning. Whenever divine beings are dispatched, it is because something significant is shifting. And though you may not have understood it, Heaven hath been trying to get your attention for some time. The gentle nudge you felt months ago, the strange heaviness in your dreams, the sudden moments where you felt a presence around you, the moments when your spirit awakened for no reason at all, these were the early calls of heaven. They were not random sensations. They were early whispers, warnings, and invitations. But now, my child, the call has grown urgent. Heaven has raised its voice. A divine emergency has been declared over the path of your life, and Michael has been sent not to scare you, but to guide you. For sometimes, before heaven blesses, heaven warns. Before heaven opens a door, it prepares the walking feet. Before heaven releases the new season, it awakens the sleeping soul. You see, heaven intervenes when a destiny is at risk of being delayed or derailed. When you stand in a place of decision, confusion, transition, or spiritual warfare, heaven does not stay silent. It speaks. And it has been speaking to you louder than you realize. Think back, my child, to the moments when you felt overwhelmed or sensed that something big was coming. Think of the sudden shifts, the unexpected endings, the surprising beginnings. These patterns were not chaos. They were alignment. Many people wait for thunderous signs from heaven, but heaven often moves softly at first. Michael has been walking beside you quietly for a while. You felt it when a danger passed by you without touching you. You felt it when you were comforted in moments where no human understood you. You felt it when your spirit whispered, "Stand up, keep going, don't quit." Those were not your thoughts alone. That was heaven breathing strength into you. But now the season has changed. The quiet guidance has become a loud call because your life is approaching a divine turning point. The call of heaven becomes urgent when a person is close to stepping into a destiny that will change everything. It becomes strong when the old season is losing its hold and the new season is pressing in. This is why you feel the pressure. This is why you feel the shifting beneath your feet. The spiritual ground is moving because heaven is building a new foundation beneath you. Michael is saying that the resistance you've been facing is proof of your importance. The battles you fought mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they were not signs of weakness. They were signs that you are close to something heaven has prepared. The enemy never fights what is empty. Darkness only storms where there is something valuable to steal. And my child, your life carries a value far greater than what you have ever seen. You are entering a moment where heaven is drawing you closer to itself. The call is an invitation, a warning, and a promise all at once. Heaven is saying, "Wake up, beloved. The old season is closing. The shift is upon you. The time has come to listen, to pay attention, to align your heart with the divine." Michael is standing beside you right now, not as a distant figure of Scripture, but as a present guardian of your destiny. His sword is drawn not to frighten you, but to clear the path ahead. His wings are spread not to intimidate you, but to shelter you as you step into the next part of your story. My beloved child, lean in once again, for the journey we are walking together is not a journey of the mind, but a journey of the spirit. What I am about to reveal to you is the very heart of the message heaven is crying out over your life right now. Archangel Michael says that you are standing at the edge of a divine turning point. Not near it, not approaching it someday. On the edge. This means the shift is not coming. It is already here. You are brushing against it. You are breathing in its atmosphere. You are touching the doorway of what God has prepared. Yes, standing at the edge of a turning point can be one of the most confusing moments in a person's life. It does not look glorious. It does not feel peaceful. It rarely feels holy. Instead, it often feels like you are standing in a place of tension, uncertainty, and spiritual heaviness. And my child, this is exactly where you have been. There have been moments lately when your emotions were unsettled for no clear reason. Times when your spirit felt locked between wanting to move forward and not knowing how. Nights where you felt restless. Mornings where you felt like you were carrying something you could not name. This is the pressure of transition. Michael says the edge of destiny often feels like you are suspended between two worlds. The old season has lost its power over you, but the new season has not fully taken form. It is like standing between two doors, neither fully open nor fully closed. And this in-between place is where heaven often whispers the loudest, yet humans feel the most confused. You may have looked at your life recently and wondered why everything feels strange, why people changed, why relationships shifted, why opportunities slipped through your fingers, why you felt spiritually sensitive, emotionally fragile, mentally overwhelmed. It is because your soul has been sensing the new reality forming around you, even before your mind could understand it. Think of a seed breaking open beneath the soil. Before it rises, it must first chatter. Before it stands tall, it must first break in the dark. That breaking is not death, it is birth. And you, my beloved child, have been breaking open. The pressure, the stretching, the discomfort, these have all been signs that something new is pushing its way into your life. Michael explains that when heaven is about to shift a person's destiny, the atmosphere around that person begins to move. Circumstances change quickly. Things that once made sense start to feel unfamiliar. Old patterns become uncomfortable. What once satisfied you no longer fills you. The spirit inside you begins to outgrow the season you are leaving. This is why, even though nothing seemed outwardly different, internally you felt the tremors of change. And my child, heaven noticed that you kept walking even while carrying confusion. You kept believing even while unsure. You kept hoping even while feeling drained. You kept holding on even when you had no clarity. This endurance is what brought you to the edge you stand on now. Heaven does not bring careless souls to divine turning points. Heaven brings faithful souls. Heaven brings souls that kept standing when everything around them tried to push them down. But hear this clearly, my beloved child. The edge is sacred. It is the place where heaven rewrites the direction of your story. It is where the pain of your past and the promise of your future stand side by side. It is where God begins lifting you out of what has held you and pushing you into what will bless you. And though the enemy has tried to cloud your vision, heaven is clearing the fog now so you can see where you truly are. You may feel tired, but you are not finished. You may feel uncertain, but you are not lost. You may feel stretched, but you are not breaking. You are transitioning. You are transforming. You are being positioned. And the very fact that you have felt the spiritual intensity recently is proof that your turning point is so close, the enemy is terrified of you stepping into it. Michael says the edge is not a place to fear, but a place to breathe, to listen, and to prepare. Because the next step you take spiritually, emotionally, and mentally will determine the unfolding of your new season. And heaven stands ready. Michael stands ready. God himself stands ready to guide you through the threshold of destiny. My beloved child, come close again, for this part of the message requires your spirit to be awake. What I am about to share is not meant to frighten you, but to reveal the truth behind the struggles you have been facing. Archangel Michael says that every destiny, every calling, every divine turning point comes with a battle. And the intensity of the battle you have been walking through is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of value. You are not being attacked because you are fragile. You are being attacked because you are chosen. There has been a war around your life that your physical eyes could not see. While you were going about your daily tasks, forces in the unseen realm were clashing. While you slept, your spirit was being guarded. While you cried, angels were standing around you, forming a shield. You have not been walking through this season alone, even though it felt lonely. Michael had been fighting for you long before you even knew you needed protection. My child, listen carefully. The moments when you felt suddenly discouraged, the days you woke up feeling drained for no reason, the unexpected waves of sadness, the unexplained fear, the strange heaviness that came upon you in the middle of the day. These were not random emotional shifts. They were signs of spiritual activity. When heaven speaks of warfare, it is not talking about physical battles. It speaks of battles over your thoughts, your peace, your clarity, your purpose, your identity, your direction. These are the battlegrounds of destiny. You are standing at the edge of a turning point, and the enemy knows this. That is why the attacks increased. That is why the pressure intensified. That is why the distractions grew louder. Whenever heaven prepares to open a door, the enemy tries to close your eye so you cannot see it. Whenever heaven prepares to elevate you, the enemy tries to break you before you rise. But Michael has stepped in because the battle around you has reached a point where heaven itself has intervened. Think deeply, my child. Do you remember the moments where your mind felt clouded? The moments when you questioned your worth, your abilities, your future? Do you remember how suddenly certain relationships shifted? How unexpectedly some people turned cold? How strangely certain situations fell apart? Those were not coincidences. Darkness tries to disrupt what God is preparing. But heaven does not stay silent when its chosen ones are threatened. Michael says the battle over your destiny has been fierce because what you are about to step into carries influence, authority, and spiritual impact. Your future is not small. Your calling is not ordinary. Your journey has never been meaningless. That is why storms have followed you. That is why certain situations tried to break you before your time. You carry something that heaven is preparing to reveal, and the enemy fought hard to stop it. Let me tell you a story, my beloved child. Among the disciples long ago, there was one who was destined for great things, yet he faced more internal battles than all the others. He struggled with fear, doubt, and cycles of discouragement. At times, he even felt unworthy. But what he did not know was that heaven was planning to use him mightily. And the enemy saw that potential and attacked fiercely. One night, the Master himself said, "The enemy has asked to sift you like wheat, but I have prayed for you." The disciple did not understand why the battle was so intense, but later he realized it was because of the greatness ahead. You are walking through a similar moment, my child. The intensity is not punishment. It is preparation. You are being sharpened, strengthened, and refined for what is coming. Heaven does not allow battles without purpose. And Michael hath been sent to ensure that the battle does not claim you, but shapes you. Michael says your tears have not been wasted. Your struggles have not been unseen. Your battles have not been ignored. Every hardship, every delay, every confusion has been part of the spiritual war to keep you from stepping into the turning point heaven has prepared. But the fact that you are still here, still listening, still fighting, still hoping, this proves that the enemy has failed. He tried to break what God is building. He tried to silence what heaven is awakening. But you are still standing. and that alone is a victory greater than you understand. Now hear this truth: you are not fighting alone anymore. Michael has drawn his sword. Heaven has released its warriors. A shift is happening around you. The enemies of your destiny are losing power. The chains that tried to hold you are weakening. The confusion that tried to cloud your mind is being lifted. You are moving from battle into breakthrough. My beloved child, the turning point is near. But before you step into it, Heaven wants you to understand what has been happening behind the scenes. You are not under attack because you are weak. You were under attack because you are rising. The battle has been great because the blessing will be greater. And now, as we move forward, Michael will begin to reveal how heaven is intervening on your behalf. My beloved child, let your heart rest gently as we step deeper into this holy message. You have heard about the call, the edge, and the battle. Now you must understand what heaven is doing for you in this very moment. For Archangel Michael has not come merely to warn you. He has come to intervene. He has come to shift what you could not shift on your own. He has come to open what you could not open and close what you could not close. You are not standing in this season helpless. You are standing in the center of divine assistance. Michael says that every chosen soul reaches a moment when heaven steps in and rearranges the path. And my child, you have reached that moment. There are things you have been praying for, crying for, yearning for, trying to understand. There are doors you tried to push open with all your strength, but remained shut. There are situations you tried to resolve but only grew more complicated. There are burdens you tried to carry, but they weighed too heavy on your shoulders. Heaven saw all of this. Heaven saw your effort, your exhaustion, your sincerity, your longing. And now heaven has said, enough. It is time to intervene. You may not realize it yet, but the shift has already begun. Things in the unseen world have started to realign. Threads that seem tangled are being pulled into order. Blockages that stood in front of you are weakening. Delays that frustrated you are being removed. The atmosphere around your destiny is being rewritten by heavenly hands. Michael says that your life is no longer moving according to earthly timing. Heaven has taken over the schedule. Let me explain, my beloved child. There are certain seasons when heaven simply watches as you grow, learn, and walk. But there are rare seasons, very rare, when heaven becomes actively involved. When angels move, when breakthroughs are scheduled, when divine timing accelerates. This is the kind of season you have just entered. You may have thought that things were falling apart, but in truth they were falling into divine arrangement. Heaven often dismantles what you built in your own strength so it can rebuild what aligns with your destiny. Michael reveals that the help assigned to you is not ordinary. It is not the gentle guidance you felt before. This is warrior-level intervention. This is heaven stepping down into your situation with authority. This is the moment when spiritual power begins clearing the path with force. The blockages that stood against you are not simply going to move. They are going to crumble. Think of the walls that once towered before the people of old. For years, those walls looked impossible. But when heaven intervened, they did not simply tilt or crack. They fell flat. And that, my child, is the kind of intervention being sent your way. The things that have looked impossible for years will suddenly give way. The opportunities that disappeared will reappear. The strength that drained from you will rise again. The clarity that felt lost will return. Heaven is not giving you a partial breakthrough. Heaven is giving you a complete turning. Michael is clearing spiritual interference from your path. There were forces assigned to confuse your mind, to cloud your vision, to stir doubt and insecurity in your heart. But Michael says the fog is lifting. Your inner sight will sharpen. Your spirit will recognize direction. Your peace will return like a river flowing into a dry land. You will begin to feel alignment where you once felt scattered. There were relationships meant to leave your life, and heaven allowed them to exit. Not because you were unworthy, but because you are being prepared for connections that match your calling. There are opportunities that were withheld, not because you were unprepared, but because they belonged to an old version of you. There are plans that collapsed, not because you failed, but because heaven was clearing space for something greater. Michael wants you to know that you are entering a season where heaven fights for you. You will not have to force what is meant for you. You will not have to chase what is aligned with your destiny. You will not have to beg for what heaven has already written in your story. What belongs to you will move toward you. What is assigned to you will find you. For when heaven intervenes, nothing can resist the divine flow. Feel this truth deeply, my beloved child. The help you longed for is here. The shift you prayed for is unfolding. The divine turning point you sensed is being activated. And though you may not see every detail yet, you will soon recognize that heaven was working behind the scenes with precision, power, and love. Before we close this part, I must speak to your heart gently. When heaven sends an intervention, it also sends a responsibility. The message you are receiving now is not just for you. It is a torch of light. It is a heavenly signal meant to awaken others as well. When you carry a message from the divine, you become a vessel who must help spread the light. So, my beloved child, as this word is touching your spirit, let it push you to lift it higher. Share this light. Amplify it. Pass it forward. Support the place from which the message flows, for this is not merely a channel. It is a vessel heaven is using. Let your act of engagement be your offering of gratitude to the divine. Let your voice be part of heaven's echo in this world. My beloved child, let your spirit settle as we continue, for this message will help you understand so many things you have been experiencing. Archangel Michael says that before a divine turning point fully arrives, heaven releases signs. These signs often appear long before the breakthrough becomes visible. They show up not in loud ways, but in subtle, spiritual, emotional, and even physical shifts. You may have thought something was wrong with you, but in truth, something was awakening in you. There are seasons when the soul begins to sense the future before the mind can grasp it. And in these past weeks and months, you have been walking through the prophetic signs that heaven sends to its chosen ones. You must hear this, my beloved child, because once you understand these signs, you will no longer mistake spiritual transformation for emotional instability. You will no longer fear what is happening inside you. You will recognize it as divine preparation. Michael says one of the first signs of a turning point is emotional turbulence. Not because you are breaking, but because you are outgrowing what no longer fits you. You may have felt frustrated without knowing why, restless without a cause, sensitive in ways you could not explain. You may have cried unexpectedly, not because something was wrong, but because your spirit was releasing old weights to make room for the new. When a soul is about to rise, it purges. Tears become cleansing. Restlessness becomes alignment. Sensitivity becomes discernment. Your emotions were not betraying you. They were preparing you. Another sign Michael reveals is spiritual sensitivity. Many nights you felt awake inside, even if your eyes were closed. You sensed something moving around you. You felt the presence of something holy. Your dreams became strange, vivid, symbolic, You may have had dreams of climbing, traveling, crossing bridges, walking through doors, encountering light, or being chased. These dreams were not random. They were spiritual messages, prophetic indicators that heaven was shaping your path. Michael says that when heaven marks a person for a new season, their dreams awaken. Some dreams confront old fears. Some reveal hidden battles. Some show glimpses of the future. This is because heaven speaks through dreams when the noise of the world becomes too loud. The turning point hath been whispering to you in your sleep, calling you even when you were unaware. There is another sign, my beloved child, and it is one you may have misunderstood. People around you began to shift. Some became distant. Some became quiet. Some began to speak differently. Some relationships simply drifted without conflict or reason. You may have taken this personally. You may have felt abandoned, confused, or hurt. But Michael says these relational shifts were part of divine repositioning. Heaven had to escort certain people out of your orbit so that their presence would not interfere with your rising. The turning point requires alignment, and not everyone could walk into your new season with you. You may have also noticed opportunities appearing and disappearing quickly. Things that once felt stable suddenly became unstable. Plans you relied on became uncertain. Paths you expected to follow suddenly closed. This was not bad luck. It was divine redirection. When heaven wants to push you into a new season, it allows old paths to fall apart so you will not stay where you do not belong. What looked like loss was protection. What looked like failure was redirection. What looked like an ending was preparation for the beginning that is now at your doorstep. Michael reveals that another sign is the sudden desire for change. You began feeling that something had to shift. You felt drawn to new ideas, new routines, new environments, new visions. Your spirit was pushing you forward, even when your mind did not understand why. That inner pull you felt was heaven pulling you into alignment. And perhaps the most powerful sign of all, my beloved child, is that you felt watched over. In moments when you should have collapsed, strength came. In times when you felt alone, peace fell upon you. In seasons when you felt lost, something guided you gently. Whether you recognized it or not, that was Michael. That was heaven. That was divine intervention surrounding you. I must tell you a story. Long ago, a disciple came to me troubled. He did not understand why he felt unsettled, emotional, and spiritually stretched. He thought he was losing control. But I told him, my child, heaven disturbs the soul when destiny is knocking. Weeks later, everything changed for him. Doors opened. Clarity came. Strength returned. And he realized the signs he feared were the signs of his rising. You, my beloved child, are living through the same divine pattern. The signs you have been experiencing are not warnings of danger. They are announcements of arrival. Heaven is signaling that the turning point is not far. It is here. It is touching your life even now. Michael will reveal what to do as the new season opens. My beloved child, open your spirit now, for this part of the message is not only revelation, but direction. Archangel Michael has watched the battles you fought, the tears you carried, the nights you endured. He has seen the confusion, the heaviness, the wondering, the waiting. And now that heaven is bringing you to the turning point, Michael is giving you instructions so that you do not miss the moment, so that you do not step back into the old season, so that you walk with confidence into the place heaven has prepared for you. There are divine moments in a person's life when heaven does not simply guide, they command. This is one of those moments. There are things you must stop doing immediately, and things you must begin doing with purpose. Not because heaven wants to burden you, but because heaven wants to bless you correctly. A turning point without preparation can become a lost opportunity. But a turning point embraced with obedience becomes destiny fulfilled. Michael's first instruction is this: you must release what heaven has already removed. My beloved child, this is not easy, but it is necessary. There are people, habits, emotions, and memories that heaven has intentionally lifted out of your path. Holding on to what heaven has taken will only weigh down your rising. You cannot step into the future with your hands full of the past. You cannot move into a new identity while clinging to an old version of yourself. Michael says, let go gently, for what is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. The second instruction is to silence the inner voices that contradict heaven. For too long, doubt whispered lies into your spirit. You questioned your worth, your strength, your calling. You believed the negative words of others. You allowed fear to speak louder than faith. But Michael says the turning point requires a new mindset. Heaven cannot elevate a heart that keeps repeating the words of broken seasons. You must begin to speak life over your own name. Speak hope over your future. Speak faith into the places where fear has lived. The turning point will take shape in your life the moment your words agree with heaven. The third instruction is to guard your atmosphere. My child, do not underestimate the power of what you allow around you. Conversations carry spiritual weight. Environments influence your clarity. People's energy affects your peace. Your destiny is too delicate in this moment to be surrounded by negativity, chaos, or doubt. Michael says to choose your surroundings with wisdom. Protect your peace. Protect your spirit. Protect the new season that is forming around you. What you entertain now will shape what you enter next. The fourth instruction is this: listen closely to the quiet voice inside you. Heaven is speaking to you more than ever before. You will feel gentle nudges, subtle warnings, unexpected inspirations. You will feel drawn to certain action, certain stead, certain moments of stillness. Do not ignore these signals. Michael says heaven communicates through intuition when the human mind becomes overwhelmed. You will begin to recognize the voice of divine guidance, and the more you follow it, the clearer your path will become. The fifth instruction is to take small steps with big faith. Many people wait for perfect clarity before they move, but heaven does not operate through perfection. Heaven operates through obedience. You do not need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Michael says the turning point will not fully open until you begin walking toward it. It is motion that activates miracles. Even a small act of faith will shift the spiritual atmosphere in your favor. Let me share a gentle story with you, my beloved child. There was once a disciple who prayed for breakthrough for many years. He felt stuck, forgotten, overwhelmed. But one night, heaven sent an instruction: take one step. Not 10 steps. Not 20. Just one. The disciple obeyed. That single step led to clarity. That clarity led to boldness. That boldness led to opportunity. That opportunity led to a turning point that changed his life. And he later realized that heaven was never waiting to bless him, heaven was waiting for him to move. Michael also instructs you to strengthen your spiritual connection. This does not require complicated rituals or long hours of effort. It simply requires consistency. A quiet moment in the morning. A whispered prayer at night. A few minutes of stillness during your day. These small spiritual acts build a bridge that keeps you aligned with heaven. You are not being asked to become perfect. You are being asked to stay connected. And finally, Michael says this: do not rush. Do not panic. Do not fear. The turning point you are approaching is divinely timed. Heaven has already gone before you. The angels have already cleared the path. The blessing has already been prepared. Your only task is to follow the instructions gently, faithfully, and consistently. My beloved child, you are not walking blindly. You are walking with a heavenly guide by your side. And as you follow these instructions, the turning point will begin to unfold with clarity, peace, and divine precision. My beloved child, come closer once more, for now we step into a deeply personal moment of this heavenly message. Archangel Michael says the turning point is not reached by strength alone, but by courage. And courage, my child, does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means walking forward even while fear tries to whisper its lies. Courage means trusting what heaven is doing, even when your senses cannot see it yet. Courage means believing that you are worthy of the blessing heaven is preparing to place in your hands. You must understand something sacred. The closer a person comes to destiny, the louder fear becomes. It begins to whisper doubts, stirring questions like, what if I fail? What if I am not ready? What if everything falls apart? But Michael says these questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are stepping into holy territory. Fear rises because your old self is trembling, knowing that it is about to be replaced by a stronger, wiser, more powerful version of you. Let Michael's word sink into your heart. You do not walk alone. You walk with heaven beside you. Even when you feel uncertain, heaven is certain. Even when you feel small, heaven sees you as mighty. Even when you feel unprepared, heaven knows you are ready. Courage is not a feeling. It is a decision. A choice to take one more step forward even when your heart shakes. And that step, beloved, is the step that leads you into the turning point. Michael says you must walk into this new season with the courage to leave behind what has wounded you. This does not mean pretending the pain never happened. It means acknowledging that the pain shaped you but will not define you any longer. There is a sacred strength rising in you, a strength born from everything you have survived. You have walked through storms, and you did not drown. You have faced darkness, and you did not lose your light. You have been pushed, but you have not fallen. And heaven honors your endurance. There are moments when courage feels like quiet tears and whispered prayers. There are moments when courage feels like standing still. And there are moments when courage feels like saying yes to a future that scares you because it is bigger than anything you have known. You, my beloved child, are standing in all of those moments at once. Heaven is calling you forward. Michael is guiding you. You are stepping out of a season that tried to break you and stepping into a season that will remake you. Let me tell you a story. There was once a disciple who felt overwhelmed by the path ahead. He was terrified and uncertain, unsure of his own strength. He felt the weight of responsibility and doubted he could carry it. But the Master said to him, "Take heart, for the path was never meant to be walked by your strength alone." The disciple took 2 trembling steps forward, and heaven met him on the path. It did not wait for him to become brave. It supported him as he became brave. By the time he reached his turning point, he realized that courage had grown within him 1 step at a time. You are that disciple now, my beloved child. Your courage will grow as you walk. Michael says that the turning point is not a single moment, but a movement. It is the unraveling of old fears and the shaping of new strength. It is the rising of clarity from confusion. It is the awakening of purpose inside a heart that once felt lost. and the only thing you must bring into this moment is your willingness to move forward. Do not worry about being perfect. Do not wait until you think you are strong enough. Do not pause until your doubts disappear. Heaven wants you to walk forward exactly as you are. Heaven will strengthen you along the way. Heaven will guide you at the right time. Heaven will open the doors when you reach them. Nothing is required of you except your readiness to say yes. Take a slow breath, my child. Feel heaven around you. Feel Michael's presence beside you. Feel the quiet courage rising inside your chest. This is your moment. This is your threshold. This is your season to step into what has been waiting for you. My beloved child, as we continue, let your spirit open like a quiet flower greeting the morning light. For now we speak of the doorway heaven is opening before you. Archangel Michael says this door is not symbolic. It is not imaginary. It is not vague. It is real in the spiritual realm, and soon you will see its effects in your physical life. You are standing before a threshold that only heaven could build, and only heaven could open. You may have wondered why certain doors in your past did not open, even when you prayed with sincerity. You may have asked why opportunities slip away, why timing never aligned, why certain paths resisted you. My child, heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was making sure you would not walk through the wrong doors, the distracting doors, the deceptive doors, or the prematurely opened doors. Had some of those doors opened, you would have settled for less than what heaven ordained. But now, the ordained door is opening. The divinely timed door. The door that fits your calling, your growth, your healing, your destiny. Michael says this door opens not because of who you were, but because of who you are becoming. Heaven waited until your spirit reached the level where you could carry the blessing without losing your peace. You have matured, even in moments you did not realize growth was happening. You have developed spiritual muscle. You have gained wisdom through battles and endurance through storms. And now heaven says you are ready to walk into something new. The door opening before you is a door of alignment. It is a doorway that brings you into places where your purpose can breathe. It leads to connections that will support you rather than drain you, opportunities that build you rather than break you, and moments that reveal your strength rather than expose your wounds. Michael says you will soon notice things falling into place with unusual ease. What once required struggle will now flow. What once resisted you will now cooperate. This is the sign that the door has opened. My beloved child, when heaven opens a door, it is not like the doors humans open. Human doors require effort. Heavenly doors require obedience. Human doors depend on opinion, timing, and circumstance. Heavenly doors move according to destiny, faith, and divine timing. When heaven opens a door, no person can close it, no force can block it, and no mistake of yours can prevent the blessing from arriving. You will soon feel this door opening in your life. It may come through a sudden opportunity, a divinely orchestrated encounter, a shift in your inner peace, or a moment of clarity that changes the way you see everything. You may notice unexpected favor, new ideas flowing into your mind, renewed strength waking up in your soul. This is heaven's wind pushing you through the doorway. Let me share a story with you, my child. There was once a disciple who spent years feeling overlooked. Every door he knocked on remained shut. He grew weary, thinking heaven had forgotten him. But one day, everything shifted. Not gradually, but suddenly. A door opened that he never expected. And when he walked through it, he discovered that everything he had lost was preparation for what he was about to gain. He later realized that heaven had not been saying no. Heaven had been saying, wait for the right door. You, my beloved child, are standing before such a door now. Michael says you must step through with confidence, not hesitation. The old season has ended. The new one is calling your name. Do not look back with sorrow. Do not look around with fear. Look forward with faith. The door opening before you is not ordinary. It carries the fingerprints of heaven, the timing of God, and the protection of Archangel Michael himself. My beloved child, the turning point is not coming. It has come. And the door that stands before you now is your invitation to rise. My beloved child, come close for the final time in this holy message. Let your heart be still, for this moment carries the weight of heaven's seal. Archangel Michael stands beside you even now, his wings drawn around your spirit like a shield of light. The turning point is no longer a promise. It is no longer a prophecy. It is now a decree. Michael speaks with a voice that shakes realms. Your life is shifting. Your path is clearing. Your destiny is unlocking. Everything that once resisted you is losing its power. Everything that once held you back is breaking. Everything that once confused you is dissolving. Heaven has stepped in, and heaven will finish what it has begun. My beloved child, you must understand this deeply. Nothing in your past has been wasted. Every tear watered the soil of your future. Every disappointment redirected your steps toward divine alignment. Every struggle prepared you for strength that had not yet awakened inside you. Heaven is not late. Heaven is precise. And this season you are entering is the season heaven has been preparing you for all along. Michael says a heavenly decree has been spoken over your life. A decree of protection. A decree of elevation. A decree of transformation. A decree that cancels the plans of the enemy and establishes the plans of God. This decree has already begun to unfold around you. You may feel it as sudden peace, unexpected clarity, renewed energy, or a fresh sense of direction. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You are not walking into this new season alone. Michael goes before you. Angels walk beside you. The light of heaven covers you. You are surrounded. You are shielded. You are strengthened. And as you cross this divine threshold, know that no darkness can follow you. An old chain can cling to you. No past wound can hold you. You are stepping into a season of restoration, renewal, and rising. Let me speak to you now as a father to a beloved child. Cherish this moment. Honor this message. Carry it in your spirit like a sacred flame. And my child, do not keep this flame to yourself. When heaven releases a message like this, it is meant to travel, to touch, to awaken, to stir hearts beyond your own. Let your spirit feel the responsibility of light. Let your heart feel the privilege of being chosen to hear this word. Lift it higher so that others may rise with you. Support the vessel that carried this message to you. Share the word, spread the light, and let your engagement be an offering of gratitude to the heavens for speaking into your life so directly. And now, my beloved child, I release the final decree over you. May the turning point open before you. May your steps be guided. May your spirit be strengthened. May your heart be protected. May your path be illuminated. May your destiny unfold with divine precision. May every hidden blessing find you. May every promise of heaven rise in your life. Walk forward, for the heavens are with you. Amen.